Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. Today we're here with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we have ourselves a Terran versus Zerg, as it should be a great one here, as we have two amazing foreigners that are going to be going at it. So, without further ado, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, Echo, the red Terran player. It is MajOr. A bit of an SCV clumping going on there at the start here. And his opponent spawning up in the bottom left-hand side of the map, the blue Zerg. It is Elazer. So, these two players are actually both currently teamless, so there's nothing really to say about that. I'm sure they're both looking for teams as much as they can, but they're both very consistent foreigners, and both of them are very solid in most cases, so it should be a great match, these two going up against each other. The map Echo is also going to make it interesting. We could sort of see some weird plays, but it could be a bit of a... It's really going to likely come down to Elazer trying to defend from MajOr in the early game, and that's sort of going to set the pace of the game. But regardless, before we get any more into actually talking about the cast, I'm very excited as the WESG replays have been released. For those of you that don't know, WESG was basically a massive tournament when it comes down to it. I think there must have been something like 60 games, somewhere along those lines. Maybe, no, definitely even more than 60 games. There's probably over 100 Starcraft games, and these are all pro level Starcraft games here, so it is certainly going to be awesome to watch all of those. I'll certainly be sending quite a few of the casts everyone's way, so we're going to see how it goes. Though for now it's just sort of standard play coming out of these two players. Hatchery into spawning pool for Elazer. He's getting at gas, so no gasless play or anything. I think the days in which a Zerg player would go gasless is pretty much gone in StarCraft 2, as the Ling's mobility is just too worth it. And having the speed in case there's something like multiple Reapers or anything like that is just a good starting investment. But as far as these builds go, it's pretty much as standard as they come. I mean, Queen's coming out for Elazer, Reaper coming out for MajOr. We're gonna see if it gets any kills here. I mean, Elazer's at a level in which he should have a good defense from Reapers. He should never really lose a drone. He certainly should never really lose a drone. Actually, this drone is getting kind of weak though, but Elazer using those Lings to shoo it away here, so keeping those units alive, and that's usually how a Zerg wants it to go. Reaper getting in. The Reaper will get some scouting information, get maybe a Ling kill or two, but Elazer did a good job of keeping the weakened Zerglings back there. And now he's got a third base on the way. He's happily droning up. Very standard play coming into these players, except MajOr. He's setting the tempo for this game right now. We've seen a lot of Terrans being aggressive versus Zerg, really in every single way here. And recently, just very recently, we're seeing some Terrans who are trying to bring it back to the third command center play as the meta sort of settles and they want to play on a more solid foundation. Now, this could be a bit of a struggle for MajOr, as once Elazer gets established, and if MajOr doesn't really get any damage done, he will certainly get established. It's going to be very scary to deal with a good Zerg player like Elazer. This is interesting now, a Marine brought all the way out. MajOr trying to do a bit of an odd poke here. I guess just try and scare Elazer with a fake. This is actually such a good idea, because Terran players for so long, Terran players haven't ever really stopped doing it. They'd always go for Marines, Hellions into a help at all in. Elazer hasn't scouted anything really of MajOr's base, so he has no idea that could potentially be happening. So MajOr's certainly putting Elazer on the edge here. But Elazer, a good Zerg player, not overreacting too much or anything. That Marine was also sort of sent out just to kill an Overlord, and he might have actually gotten one or two. I think some of those were Ling kills though, so let's actually take a look. Okay, so an Overlord did go down. I believe it was killed by that Marine. Hellions for MajOr killing creep here. So, and sorry if I'm a little slow in this cast, just a bit of a disclaimer. It's pretty early in the morning for me. I woke up, saw the or actually no, I was going to sleep and I saw the WESG replays were released. And I was thinking, oh, I should really cast one, but no, I decided to go to sleep instead, and now I'm up early casting some WESG replays, so forgive me if I have a bit of a morning voice. That's just how it's going to go, but I'm certainly going to be casting a lot more, so there will be a lot of replays to go over. Anyway, queens for Elazer, great creep spread coming down. He's just a machine right now when it comes down to it. Ooh, I think he had a... Oh, that's actually really unfortunate. Elazer had a creep tumor crushed by the rock tower. But I think bringing down that rock tower is certainly worth it. Now, Elazer's reaching a scary drone count. He's up to 60. Major's floating over his 3rd CC though, so he will be dropping all those extra mules. He's got his 1-1 on the way. Elazer does too though, so no upgrade advantage for Major. So really it's going to come down to when Major finally pushes. He's going to try and get some damage done at a later stage in the game, as opposed to the Terrans who open up more aggressively. And Major is one of the Terrans who can go a full-out macro. He can match a lot of Zergs. It's certainly a challenge for Zergs to match Major in macro plays. He's just one of those Terran players who's ridiculously fast. He's got ridiculously good macro, so he can always get something done. These Marines stimming up. I'm really excited. Want to break down that cooling tower. And it is going to fall as Zergling run-bys. If you're a Terran player and you've forgotten to knock down this cooling tower once or twice, you've paid the consequences when playing versus Zerg. Meanwhile, Baneling's on the way for Elazer. He's securing a 4th base here. Another macro hatchery going up as well. Lair is finished, but no really definitive tech going down. I guess he might just be going for a hive or something like that. Just sticking with the Ling play, and this is what a lot of Zergs have been doing lately. They have been not going for super quick mutas or anything like that. Major moving in with a pseudo late 2-on-1. He's actually picking off a good amount of queens though. Almost gets 3. 2 of them going down. Another one weak. Unfortunately, Major will not get that weakened queen, and it gets transfused there. Elazer having a very short upgrade advantage there as well. I'm actually not sure how that played out. I think Elazer might have just had his 1-1 finish up in that fight. Overlord for Elazer just being shot at. Not much else going on. Now, Elazer is starting his 2-2, whereas Major's Armory is only just finishing up. Not quite timed out perfectly here for Major. But right now, Major's got a supply lead, and that's partially because he started making units. He's kept his drop alive, so he's got room to harass, and now, so as long as he doesn't lose these 2 medivacs, he will have a good chance to push forward even more. Sorry. So we have Marines for Major. He's going to go to good wall off, doesn't want to fall down to any harassment. And speaking of harassment, here comes in Elazer. There's Marines, there's medivacs, so Major should be able to deal with this as he rallies more Marines out. Yes, these Lings are going to get cleaned up. Very well done by Major there, keeping his units there. Major needs to be careful with these Marines and their medivacs. Elazer going for a Spire, not super quick or anything like that, but he will be getting up mutas like Zerg players have wanted. They've decided that they're good enough, and Zerg players have been able to survive most Terran attacks with just Lings, with just Banelings here. But Elazer's going to have to survive one more as Major moving in, but Major basically just has Marines here, so he's going to need great splits against these Banelings. Getting some decent splits here, running some of the Marines back. The Marines are actually engaging the Queens right now, but more Banelings, more Lings are rolling in, and Major's just swamped right now. Widowmine gets a decent connection, but the majority of these Marines are going to need to be picked off and get out of here. Now Elazer takes the supply lead. Major, a good amount of units rallied at home, so he's not in too much danger. He's getting more barracks up, so he's entering the next stage of this game. Liberator's on the way to shoo away mutas potentially, but Major needs to just throw up some missile turrets here soon, as he's not aware of the Spire coming down. He hasn't scanned. He hasn't actually even scouted the main base of Elazer. I guess he just decides he knows how Zerg players are going to play. But as a result, he's not completely aware of when these mutas are coming out, and I don't believe he's scouted them yet. A drop's going to move out, and now Major's going to be surprised when mutalists come back to clear this up. Elazer's investing heavily into these mutas here. Ever since the Liberator nerf. Oh, and Major actually loses that medivac to a Spore Crawler, a single Spore Crawler, not even the Queen getting that kill. And there's a lot of Zerg here. Major trying to push in, really only one Marauder, so it's going to be up to these Widowmines to get good hits, and they actually do get very good hits there. Elazer trying to bait out the first 2 Widowmines, but one to the north actually got a great connection there. A few Banelings though chasing Major all the way back. Reinforcements for Major pushing in though, and he's going to shoot Elazer back. Those were fantastic Widowmine hits. Meanwhile, double Liberator harassment for Major here. The Queen's eating one of these Liberator shots, getting a few drones. 10 drones in total, shutting down the mining. Very well done by Major here. Now we see another drop moving out for MajOr. He's going to give it another shot here. Hopefully he'll avoid the Spore Crawler, but he is actually just queued up to go right past it. He'll need to boost at the right time for this one. But right now MajOr's pushing on. Elazer's going to be getting a bit desperate. Supplies are even. 3-3 is on the way for MajOr, so he'll actually have a potential for another push later on. As a result, he's pulling back. He's trying to secure a fourth here. Ship weapons on the way for MajOr. Liberator's got a significant damage nerf versus Mutas, so if he is going to try and fight Mutas with Liberators ever, the ship weapons is very important. As to kill Mutas, the higher the attack with Liberator splash damage stacking, it's very effective. Right now we see the drop did actually get in unharmed this time. Gonna start picking off a few drones here, gonna force Elazer to react. Meanwhile, Elazer's going for another Ling run by, but MajOr's prepared for this, but not really. He has his supply depots down, he's getting Lings into the third base, not too many though. His natural is being ravaged and he's losing a few SCVs. Very well done by Elazer, but MajOr, he's still on 66 SCVs, he's got 4 bases. And now we see Elazer's moving in onto this command center. This might be a bit of a bold attack. Banelings are going to connect with all the SCVs, and the CC is going to go down. 11 SCVs fallen for MajOr. Not too big of an investment for Elazer as well to do that. MajOr stimming his bio very significantly to try and get that. Now MajOr's on to 3 bases. The income tab is in favor for Elazer, certainly. He's got this 4th base up. Elazer's likely going to be wanting to secure another base soon. He's got Hive on the way, so he might be able to sit tight and get Hive, get Ultras on 4 bases. But it's very good for the Zerg player if he'll be able to secure another base soon. Now, both of these bases, though, are hard to secure, as if he goes right, it can and he's already made his choice, it can be dropped very easily, so he's going to have to be on point with this defense. The Muta's flying over some of the Marines. The Widowmine connects, but only one Widowmine shot there, so just one poor Muta getting hit, the other's getting bruised a bit. Man, Mutalisk, they get bruised, but they just heal right back up. That would be so amazing if you bruise your apple. It's sure it goes a little brown for a while, but then it comes back and is a healthy apple. Okay, that was a very weird analogy, but here we go. The Muta's getting weakened by these Liberators. MajOr's got ship weapons on. Oh, Elazer needs to be very careful with these Mutas here. As if 4 Liberators, yes, they were nerfed versus Mutas, but they can still deal massive damage to him. And MajOr's moving out. He might be able to tag some of these Mutalisks here. The Mutas are just getting out in time there from those Liberators. Plus 2 ship weapons on the way for MajOr, so he's gonna rely on these Liberators to chase away the Mutalisk here. MajOr going out for drops here, however. The Zerg is starting to get a little scary on the map. The creeps reaching over the halfway point. Base is getting established here. Potential Ling run by, scouted by MajOr, but that also means his drop's been scouted, so MajOr's going to want to pull that back on, so if he sends it in, it's almost a waste. Actually, Elazer's Mutas aren't there to pick it off, so they are on the other side of the map. However, Elazer's Mutalisk are moving in, and there's no missile turret. MajOr neglected these missile turrets. He kept Elazer busy on his side of the map the whole time, but he's relying on these Liberators and his defense and keeping Elazer away from his main base, and he's certainly doing a good job. This is very interesting from MajOr. We've not... I mean, Liberators really only have a use versus Ultralisk, maybe Infestors, Roaches, and there's just Lings for Elazer. But MajOr's making them regardless to deal with these Mutas here. I actually see high-sec auto-tracking on the way, or not high-sec auto-tracking. Oh yeah, high-sec auto-tracking. My bad, I think I know the upgrade names, and I actually do. That's good. So, MajOr will just really banking. This is where he's going with all this macro play, and he's now actually pushing in. He's forcing onto this base, and we see there's a good amount of Mutalisks for Elazer, but they're not too effective. They're going to have to deal with Widowmines, and now here come all the Liberators. They're going to get right on top of the Mutas. Elazer is going to pay the price for pushing forward here. 16 Mutas, he lost about 9 there, I think. Or not quite that many. He lost 7 or so. Anyway, we see MajOr dropping at the same time, picking off his critical hatchery, scanning. He's going to have a smile on his face right now. He confirms there's no other base, and a Zerg player on 4 bases at the 15-minute mark is not necessarily good for the Zerg player. The Zerg player wants to be in control here. Elazer has +3 upgrades on the way. He's got chitinous plating on the way. It would be great to see adrenal glands for his Zerglings on the way, as it just makes them killing machines. But right now, MajOr's pushing forward here. And it's going to be up to Elazer to defend this attack. He's got an Ultra on the way. And the Lings are actually going to get right on top of this army right now. This is a great catch for Elazer. The Banelings might even connect, and they do. Elazer going to continuously push forward. Very bold here, getting on top of all this bio. MajOr has an upgrade advantage, and he retreats to his CC. If that was a minute later for Elazer, he would have had equal upgrades, and it would have been very scary for MajOr right now. Though Elazer just content sitting back, getting up these Ultras. But this is a scary Liberator count for MajOr, and there's not too much for Elazer to deal with it. He's finally making Corruptors here. He's finally getting armor upgrades, which is very critical when fighting against Liberators here. Elazer's bled off a lot of his Mutalisk. Corruptors can stand versus almost an infinite amount of Liberators, though, it seems, so that will sort of deal with the Liberator problem. But right now we see MajOr secured his own 5th base. He's got more bases actively mining, or if he's equal to the Zerg player. And that is not somewhere the Zerg player wants to be. Elazer, he's moved all these queens up. He should start spreading creep. He wants to secure the space. Throw up a spore, maybe a spine. And we actually see these queens are going to do a great job in shutting down this drop here. MajOr might be able to pick off some drones, though. Elazer wants to transfuse that queen before he loses it. Mutas are going to catch and kill this drop, but this is allowing MajOr to move in. Elazer's creep spread at this side has been pushed back a significant amount here. He's spreading it again, but MajOr's going to say, hello, I'm here. He scans the 5th base, and now he's going to be able to move in. And Infestor's popping, but it doesn't have enough energy for fungal growth right now. A lot of Zerg players lately have been skipping that fungal growth. They've been skipping that upgrade, that upgrade. Sorry, I can't honestly remember the name of that one, but he's been skipping that upgrade. But right now we see Elazer's crashing on into MajOr's army. He's killed off all the Liberators, the Mutas and Corruptors working together, shutting them down. And now MajOr's been pushed back. He's still got a good amount of supply, though, equal on army supply. A good amount of Widow Mines, too, here. But that fight could have gone even worse if there had been fungal growth ready for these investors. We see Elazer wanting to secure not just his 5th base, but his 6th base as well, but this is going to be shut down by a drop here. MajOr playing very well, actually kills that, no cancel here, very significant. A few Lings is going to bleed off drones, Ultra is going to come in, MajOr's going to try and micro back versus these Ultras here. 4 more Ultras on the way, that's a very scary amount that's going to be rising. MajOr's going to need something to deal with. One of the Ultras actually gets picked off, and these Widow Mines, they actually deal a significant amount of direct damage to these Ultras, and Ultras aren't quite as strong as they used to be. Now let me see, chitinous plating was researched for Elazer, so there is actually 5 upgrades for those Ultras here. Pardon me, I'm actually a bit confused here. Shouldn't these Ultras have... Okay, this is a completely random tangent, but I thought Ultralisk started with 1 base armor, and the recent patch made it so that with chitinous plating they'd have a max of 6, but they only have 5. Maybe it's not displaying right or something like that. But anyway, Elazer calls GG here. MajOr just sort of checkmated him into a game as I was rambling on about Ultra's armor. What a way to end the game. MajOr, that's just the solid macro player he is. He managed to push in. He managed to deal the damage there. And he did. I mean, it's not like he just went for one great fight and won the game there. He didn't go for some specific timing or anything. He dropped non-stop. He pushed in, he macroed, and he won by doing that. He just pulled Elazer out of position at the end, and Elazer had a good amount of units, but he GG'd. 4 Ultras and 4 Infestors ain't going to save you from MajOr hitting everywhere. MajOr with a superior economy. Regardless, thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the cast, feel free to like and subscribe. This is going to be the first one of the WESG replays. Hopefully it wasn't too rocky of a start. Regardless, I shall see you guys next time. But if you liked the video, feel free to leave a like, because it makes me feel great seeing that people are enjoying the content. Otherwise, I shall see you next time.